we'll get on with this. So thank you all for joining us. I hope that you will find this to be, well, I'm confident. I know you're going to find this to be very informative, give you something to think about, because until about a year and a half ago, when I first became familiar with Bullseye and locators, they were not on my radar screen as something that was important. They were just, oh yeah, you have to have a locator on your website. It's a convenience to customers. This is how it works. And it's just been all of a sudden I went, wait a minute, this is more important than I realized. The building material companies, I think, are really, really missing the boat here. So that's what I really found this to be a aha moment, and that I wanted to share. I've been trying to share with people when I've been doing weekly reviews of locator sites, but I thought a webinar would also be a great way to share this. I'll tell you what, because as typical, I have probably twice as much material to share with you as the time allows, which is just my style. So we probably should get started. And those who tune in late, we will have a recording of this that we will be sending to everyone. So if you want to revisit it, or if you want to share it with some other coworkers, because I find frequently people will come to my Wizard Summit events and they'll be all charged up with, we need to make these changes, and they go back and start to tell people, and people look at them like, what? We're not going to do that. That's crazy. And then when they're able to share with them a third party, myself or another expert sharing some knowledge, then all of a sudden the other person goes, oh, I didn't look at it that way. So I think you'll find, hopefully the recording helps you if you think that you need to improve your locator, that this will provide you with some good information or good way to share that with others in your organization that perhaps don't get it. We'll put it that way. So I'm going to share my screen now and see if I can find, there it is. Okay. So now, first of all, a number of you may not know who I am. A number of you maybe got an email or something from your boss or somebody saying, hey, this Mark Mitchell's guy's having a webinar. I'd like you to tune into it. And you're kind of like, who is this crazy guy? Who is Mark Mitchell? Well, I am a crazy fun guy, but here's the professional Mark. So I'm an author. I've written 2 books on building material marketing, or written one and co-authored another. I'm a consultant and a speaker, a blogger, a vlogger, a podcaster. And some people call me the wizard of building materials, sales and marketing. In my 40-year career, I've worked with over 100 different building material companies in residential, commercial, new construction, repair, remodel, helping them to grow their sales. Companies of all sizes, from a warehouser to a small startup that no one's ever heard of. My goal in this call today is not to sell you anything. It's to share my knowledge. I realize that you are overwhelmed with new things. If not every day, certainly every week, you're being approached by, I have the world's greatest new thing that will help your business. You need our product. You need to hire me, whatever it is. It's just, there's all these things thrown at you. And even if you had, your budget and resources limits the number of changes you can make. Even if you want to do everything, you had the money, you don't have the resources to be able to implement everything. And because, as you found, if you use things like HubSpot or Salesforce, there's a big commitment there, a big learning curve that you have to commit to. If you just sign up for something and don't make the investment, you're wasting your money because it's not going to get executed or implemented, right? And then also, so I'm just trying to say, hey, I think locators are something that needs to be on your radar screen, and whether now is the time or in the future, just trying to share the knowledge so that you're better educated to make that decision. And also, not every new idea is right for every company. There are some companies that what I'll call the existing locator technology is, which is to show me a map and show me the closest place I can buy your product. For some companies, that may still be the best choice, right? But as more and more to shop online, more and more of us, the contractor or dealer is going to come to us. All of a sudden, I don't care, how far away they are, but we'll get into that. And now, why locators? So I'm I'm a disruptor. I'm not looking to tell you, although I can, like how to do a better job of something you're already doing. I'm always looking for what are building material companies missing, right? What's something that like, oh my gosh, this is important. The world is changing here. Building material companies need to recognize this, right? And I see that locators are a missed opportunity, an important one, and I'm going to explain why. Now, the next question is, okay, who's Bullseye? Well, Bullseye is a locator. They have Bullseye locators, which is a software, an app, a product. But I'm going to say the wrong word, I'm sure, Joshua. But it's a product that goes on your website that is a improved locator. And what I liked about them, one is I have people approach me all the time. They're very good at something like SEO or website or whatever it is, but they don't have particular expertise in building materials. And I find those companies usually don't do a great job because this is a very unique business. So most companies don't understand the sales process. So I'm looking for somebody good at what they do, who focuses on building materials and understands the sales process, right? It's also nice that companies that work with large and small companies. So that's what attracted me to Bullseye. Now, just full disclosure, Bullseye is a client of mine. I consult with them and helping them to grow their business, but I'm not paid a commission or something if you, a referral fee or anything, if you would choose to use Bullseye. Now, Bullseye also, when I said works for large and small companies, for a large example is Sika, headquartered in Switzerland, who Bullseye does their locators in over 50 different countries in 30 plus different languages. I mean, so that, they corporately want to, in all these countries they sell around the world, they want to manage that and have an idea of what's going on in each country and to support those countries, the dealer, distributor, whatever their sales situation is in a particular country. So that says, wow, okay, well-known big company, global, relies on Bullseye. Okay, that gives me confidence. And now the other part of who's Bullseye is always, of course, the people. And my co-host is Joshua Rich, President, CEO, and founder of Bullseye Locations. And so when I first met Joshua and was, as my own skeptical way, was kind of asking him questions just to make sure, do you really understand this stuff? Right? Yeah, I know people say it, but then when I ask them questions, they don't really know what an architect does or a distributor, so forth. And Joshua related an interesting story to me on our first call. So Joshua, why don't you share that with us?
Sure. So actually, Mark, thank you. I've been interested in sort of working in the building materials category for many, many years. When I was younger, I did a lot of architecture. And so I like doing home projects. I'll do my own architecture. And I happen to be, at the time that we met, Mark, working on a renovation of a schoolhouse, a one-room schoolhouse that I had purchased, and was trying to figure out the heating options. So I found myself online exploring different types of heat, and sort of settled in on a heat pump as being probably the best option. And in the course of my research, found myself on different HVAC sites. Carrier was the one that sort of attracted me the most. And so I went to their dealer locator or their contractor locator, and I found a local heating company. I contacted them. They sent a rep out. We talked about different options and sized things up. And when she went back and returned with a proposal, I was sort of shocked that the proposal was not a Carrier product. It was a Mitsubishi product. And that's actually something that we hear a lot from our clients, that they've heard, or they're afraid of providing leads or providing opportunities to their contractors, who then go and sell a competing product. And that's one of the things that obviously we work around.
Yes, I hear that from salespeople all the time. They get frustrated that the dealer, contractor, distributor, either it happens more with dealers and contractors where they may have gotten the inquiry because of their brand, but then they switch the sale to a competitor, and they wonder, like, where's the loyalty? You know, what is going on, and that just drives them crazy. And so today's locator, that you don't realize, the manufacturer doesn't know who I contacted. Joshua, what you also do locators for some companies in other industries. What have you noticed that's particularly unique about the needs of the building materials industry for a locator?
Well, oftentimes building materials will have sort of complex search requirements. It could be that they need multiple types of locators. They might want a rep locator. They might, in addition, want a contractor or installer locator. They might want a dealer locator. And so we'll find ourselves, figuring out how to manage the data across these different categories. But then we also find that some of these categories might be selling through a territory type model, and in a territory type model, if a user is searching for a rep in their area, they may not want to give them the nearest rep just by distance. They may want to find the rep that sells to their particular territory, and so there are a lot of complex search rules. For the ability to provide different tiers of contractors or dealers is also something that we see a lot in building materials. And then, of course, the sort of data maintenance and how to get good data, how to keep the data clean, how to keep it accurate, and oftentimes data will be maintained in third-party systems. It could be maintained in a CRM like Salesforce or HubSpot. And we'll be in a position where we need to set up synchronization to make sure that data, as it gets updated in one system, automatically is reflected in the other system as well. So, keeping that data and populating the data is a big need for building materials companies.
Yes, and I frequently will see where in today's world, I don't care where we'll say reseller is located. I care that they can service me in my location. And so once again, this map idea is unimportant. I just need to know, there may be a contractor that's 50 miles away that has no trouble driving 50 miles to do this job, right? And they may be the best choice for me, but I wouldn't find them. So I think that's very important. The other one, Joshua, you bring up is we've all in building materials spent since the website, the internet, and in digital marketing, CRM, we're investing lots of money in better ways to manage data and take advantage of that data, who do we send an email to, when do we send it, what Salesforce shows happening and so forth. And here's this critical thing, the locator, and most locators they're not connected to any of those things. And it's like, why not? Was a big question I had. So thank you, Joshua. Now we're going to move on into things here. If my slide's going to change for me. Yes. Before I get into this, if anybody has a question, just go into the chat box and type it. And we're going to have a question period at the end. But if there's something in the middle you want to bring up, please feel free to type it in the chat box. In the last year and a half, since I first found out since Bullseye introduced me to the importance of locators, and I kind of reframed my thinking, I started to go on and just look at what other building material companies were doing. What were they doing right? What were they doing, I thought, wrong? And so in the last year and a half, I've reviewed 68 different building material companies' locators, and they're on the Bullseye YouTube page. And, you can go on and take a look at if you want, you can go on and take a look at those and see what I found. It's also, but what it did was I've learned a lot from seeing what different companies are doing. And so that's what I really want to share with you today is, what I've also learned. And, hang on, I guess I've just got a note here. I have to enable chat. Not sure how to do that. Hang on one second. Chat. You had to forgive me. I'm like this, old guy that doesn't know, doesn't understand all this technology we have here. So how do I enable chat? Hang on one second here. Show chat previews. Okay. Well, man. I don't know. I just typed up. I don't know if that does it. Anyway, we'll figure this out. But so I've reviewed 68. Now, what I came away with here was that how your where to buy locator is hurting your sales. And where to buy to me can mean find a contractor, find a builder, whatever it is. It's doing two things. One, it's frustrating your customers. You're providing a poor customer experience. And secondly, it's costing you sales. So we're going to walk through both of these. So another way I look at this is graphically. I came up with a couple of graphics here. But one is down in the lower left here of this chart, you start to see, I said, relationship starts. Now that could be a sales call. That could be a trade show. That could be they came to your website, right? But somebody has a need. Somebody's looking for a product and wants to decide if you're the right one, right? So a relationship is started. So let's say they come to your website or a salesperson met them and put them into Salesforce that then fed into HubSpot or something. And so, there's calls to action, we'll say on your website, right? Free design guide, order a sample, whatever. It's plugged into the CRM. You're sending them samples. You send them samples or materials. Marketing automation kicks in at some point. Social media program where they start following you or you start following them. Maybe they're looking at reviews of your product as they get closer to making a decision. Maybe they've sent you in your chat box, they've sent a question that you answered. Okay, they're ready to go. Now they click that button, where to buy. And to me, it's like you just said, goodbye. We're sending you to one of our friends. I hope you have a good experience. So in my opinion, your relationship with that prospect just ended, okay? Because you're now no longer involved, okay? And I kind of view it as like, it's like you've just left your date at the dance, right? Like, you went to the dance together and your date is kind of liking you and very interested, thinks you're probably the best one. And then you said, now for the rest of the evening, I want you to meet my friend Henry. He's a really great guy. Or here's 12 guys, pick the one that you like, okay, that you want to continue the date with. Makes no sense to me, right? And then another way of looking at this is the old sales funnel, right? So, we all know what a sales funnel is, this is a simple one, but you create awareness, interest, desire, action, right? And you see, ideally, that green arrow, we're involved the whole way through until a sale is made, right? But we get to the action standpoint, which is I'm ready to buy. And now it says, boom, we're sending them to your locator sends a customer to a third party who may switch the sale to a competitor. I call that a big leak in your sales funnel. How much money are you spending, with your Salesforce, with marketing automation, your website, all these things to bring people into the sales funnel. And then you have this big hole in the bottom of the sales funnel. Makes no sense to me. Now, another way I look at this is I see it as an outdated convenience. Like when they first, locators first came out, it was like, oh, this is great. I just put in a spreadsheet of all my companies who sell my product, and it can show up on a map based on somebody's zip code. This is nice. What a convenience, right? And it's ranked by how close they are, not if they're the right person for me. And it took me back to my childhood when, my parents and my brother and sister and I would all get in the station wagon and go on our family vacation. And my mom would have this map, that she was telling my father, how to get where we were going, right? Nobody uses a map anymore. We just whip out our cell phone. So if I want to go if from your locator, I chose a location, I either know where it is, or I'll quickly just whip out my phone and it will guide me there. I don't need the map on your website. So I view that as wasted real estate. Takes up a big amount of space that could be better used. Now, so I see this as an outdated convenience that now has lost its value, right? Think about who the customer is, what product you're selling, and how it's going to be sold. Like if I need a new roof, I am not going to a roofer's place of business, right? It probably is, some sort of garage and an office and a chain link fence with a bunch of trucks behind it, right? The dealer or contractor in many instances is going to come to me. The second thing is more and more, I'm going to do as much of the transactions as possible online to save time and convenience. I don't want to go to a location who may not have a showroom, who may not have your product in stock, who may not meet my needs. So I'm either I want to do all the research I can online, and I may also want to place the order online, even if I order it and I drive down the street to Home Depot and I pick it up, or I have them ship it to me. And so distance doesn't matter today. So that idea of the map to me is an outdated convenience that's lost its value. No. Another problem with locators that are based on location is, and I'm not sure, I think this may be for a door hardware company, right? And so it showed me these, in Boulder where I live, it showed me these top 5 results. So Boulder Lumber Company, Sutherland's Lumber, the Drill Spot, and Home Depot. Now, lumber dealers, assuming this is I'm trying to sell to a homeowner, not a home builder, not a general contractor or somebody. I'm selling to a homeowner. Lumber dealers have to order the product. They are not very likely to have a full display of my door hardware products or a door hardware department. They can probably get the product, but I'm not going to be able to go in and touch and feel it and compare it. I'm probably going to go up to an order desk. It's an unusual experience if I haven't been to a lumber dealer before, but I've been to a Home Depot. And so that's my first 3 recommendations are probably, not the best places for me to go. Then, oh my God, here's this thing called Drill Spot. What the heck is Drill Spot? Right now, I'm either going to ignore that or I'm going to manually cut and paste Drill Spot into my search engine, and I'm going to find their website and learn what they are. I'm probably not going to even waste my time to do that, right? Now, what I think is probably, if I'm a homeowner looking for new door hardware, probably my best choice is the Home Depot, right? But yet it's number 5 on the list here, right? Home Depot is going to have a wide assortment. They're going to, I can easily find out on their website if I want a specific product. I'm going to be able to find out if they have it in stock at that store or not. And so here's this example of letting the old technology just kind of ride along and not being very customer friendly. So another way that it's lost its value is it makes customers do the work. So what I see so often is I have 2 options. 1, call the location. 2, manually find the dealer's website. So a thing that I would at least do is have a link to every website that you can. And I'm going to talk more about that later. The other one is most, certainly a home improvement contractor will take all the phone calls they can get. That's great. But most dealers and distributors aren't looking for phone calls. Okay. And it may not, so the phone may or may not get answered in a timely fashion. The person answers the phone, may or may not have the answers. Maybe they got to put you on hold, get somebody else. This is not a great experience for either the dealer, distributor, or your customer. And I find, the younger people are, I am very comfortable with a telephone, but, younger people I deal with, they're more comfortable with anything but the telephone. So don't force people to do things, don't make them do so much work. They're not used to that. So another way to think about it, how it's lost its value, is it was happening anyway. But then along came 2020 and COVID lockdowns. And all of a sudden, we started to really shift our online shopping or buying, we now expect everything as that we measure the world, your website in terms of an Amazon experience, right? So many times I'll find a product I want to buy. I'll be on the manufacturer's website. It says I can buy it from them, but there's something that is just looks like a hassle, going to take too much time. And I'll end up going to Amazon and buying their product on Amazon because all the information, I don't have to leave Amazon to read reviews, to get questions answered, to get all the information about the product that I need to know how soon it will ship and so forth. And so think about how you can make your website more of an Amazon experience. And I don't mean that you should get into direct selling, although you can. But how can I make sure that there's no reason to leave our website? Okay, so what if somebody's ready to buy? They would like to choose the right dealer or contractor without leaving your website. So think about how can I make that happen? Now, let's take a minute here and say, you're in different businesses. So you need to also step back and say, who is your customer? What is your product? How's it purchased? And it looks to me like most dealer locators are kind of like a one size fits all. And so you've got a homeowner do it. You could have these different types of customers and maybe some others. Homeowner, do-it-yourselfer. And I call a homeowner somebody that wants somebody to do it for them. A do-it-yourselfer, going to do it themselves. New home buyer, architect, general contractor, facilities manager, subcontractor, home builders, dealers, distributors. So it depends, once again, knowing who your customer is, what is your product, and how is it purchased. So let's walk through and say what customers want. Well, homeowners that want something done for them, repair, remodel, home improvement, they want to find the right contractor. And they want to find a showroom dealer or contractor. Okay, they're not looking for the closest. They're not even looking for the lowest price. They're looking for who's the best solution for my particular project. Do-it-yourselfer is looking for the best source for their needs. In their case, it may be a dealer, it may be online. New home buyers. So a new home buyer perhaps has bought a home and the builder has given them a list of options or things that they can do to upgrade. And they are likely to go online and learn about, I want to see these kitchen cabinets. Who's a dealer, if the builder didn't tell them, who's a dealer I can go to that has a showroom, right? The builder will also give them a list of upgrades they can do. They may have a wish list. They may have something that they want to ask the builder, how do you insulate your walls? Why don't you use this product? Okay, which is very valuable to that insulation manufacturer, because now the builder's going, why are consumers asking me about my insulation? I better pay attention to this. I better consider this. Architects, they may want to view products in person where a sample doesn't work. So if there's a showroom that has full-size mock-ups or whatever, could be at a distributor, a dealer, could be at one of those two places. They'd like to know where could I go see this product and touch and feel it and look at face to face with textures and colors and things. I may want to find a local supplier and ask them questions. It's like, okay, what do you find is the lead time? Is this product company, have you had problems with past installations? They may want to find a rep, right? General contractors perhaps want to find a distributor and find installing contractors. And each of these, you have to look yourself and say, general contractors are a primary target for us. And in our case, this is what they're looking for. Facilities managers, owners, find dealer or distributor, find installing contractors, subcontractors, find a distributor, home builders, find a dealer, find installing contractors. Dealers, find a distributor, distributors, find a rep. So just step back and say, who is my customer? What is my product? How is it sold? And then think about, is your locator meeting those needs? So what customers want, every type of customer, is they want they want to save time. The most important thing is their time. So make it easy for customers to find what they need on your website themselves. So this is stepping back from the locator. Many companies, for some reason, hold back information and force the customer to talk to a rep to get the information, right? That frustrates your customer, right? Because I'm going to contact a rep, I'm going to get a voicemail, send an email. They're not there to answer the phone right now and give me the information. So now I've not kind of completed that task to get that information. So the better your website answers the questions that the customer needs, the better you will do. Okay. If you have the best website, you will win in the short term and long term. One of the things that surprised me was a couple of years ago, I started asking I asked every architect, builder, contractor that I talked to, who has the best website to the companies you deal with and why? And they can all name them right away. And Marvin Windows, was frequently mentioned as having the best window website. Now, I don't know why. I don't know what exactly it was that but it was about having it was the best source of information at that time. And so if they had a question about Windows, even if they bought Pella Windows, they would go to Marvin to get an answer about Windows in general or performance or a question or something. And so I thought, wow, so I'm buying Pella, but I keep going to Marvin's website for the answers. Eventually I might go, gee, why am I not buying Marvin? Okay. And so I would encourage you, many times we design new websites kind of in a vacuum. It's us and the website design firm, and we don't engage the customer enough. And so continually ask customers about how you can make your website better. Even if you aren't slated to update your website a year from now, just start collecting this information. And so it's like you want to design a website that meets the needs of the customers, not what you think they need. Now, let's take a look at a couple of companies that I think are doing it right. So one that does it right is GAF. And, I would encourage you to go, just follow along here. But so the first thing that GAF does is they make it easy to find on the homepage. So they not only make it easy to find a contractor in the upper right, but right to the left of that is where to buy. And that may be if I want to buy the product like a distributor or dealer. And then right there in the center, get a reliable local roofer and a GAF roof estimate, enter a zip code. So it's easy to find on the homepage. I'm still amazed at the number of companies that it may down, it's, under 20%, 10 to 20% of them, but it's amazing. Like the where to buy is located, if at all, is located clear I have to scroll to the bottom of the page where there's all those little lists of everything that, and it's listed as one of 20 things down there where to buy. It's not front and center on the top of the homepage. So, put it front and center on the top of the homepage. Another way that GF does it right is they have no map. Okay. They lead with their best, most loyal contractors. So the contractors that they feature here, in my case in Boulder, 2 top President's Club roofers, right? This is their best and most loyal contractors. These are the contractors least likely to switch them to another brand of shingle, right? These are successful companies who are going to deliver a good experience to the homeowner. So they're not leaving that to chance, right? Now, they also list, more contractors below those 2. But once again, it's not by distance, right? The information here is I can click on here and I can learn, more about them. So I'll show you. So if I clicked on RoofWorks, right away, I'm coming to a page where there's this picture of like, this is a real company, real people. They're in the President's Club. And then down here where it says message us, if I click that, now both GAF and RoofWorks know that Mark Mitchell from Boulder is interested in a roof. Okay. So now GAF stays involved. GAF can can call RoofWorks and say, hey, I saw you got this inquiry, anything we can do to help you land that business. And most importantly, it helps me find the best contractor for my job. And as I said, it keeps you involved. Now, if you scroll down that page on that contractor, now I can read about us and, geez, look at all these projects I can take a look at that are, in my neighborhood or around me. So I can take a look and say, gee, this guy does houses like mine in my price range. He doesn't do $1 million mansions, right? And then I scroll down, still on this page for this contractor on the GAF site. Now I can read reviews. I don't have to go and look myself for reviews. I'm fed the reviews right here on Google and GAF reviews, right? And then I can see what awards they've won. And then I can even see these are installed roofs near me. And if I click on any of those little boxes, it tells me the address of where that project was. So if I want to drive by and take a look at it. So this really goes a long way in helping me to either pick the right contractor or at least narrow down. If I'm one of these people, I want to get 3 quotes or something, fine. I'm getting them from the three best options for me. So GAF, I think really does it right. Now, there's another one I was surprised when you do this is what happens to your local SEO. And SEO, as we all know, is extremely important, but also can be challenging. But if you type in roofing contractors, Boulder, Colorado, roofing contractors near me, even roofing contractors, right? So at the top of the page, you're going to see people that you're going to see ads from companies, most likely contractors, who are paying pay-per-click to be there. And then right below that, you'll start to see organic search results. And so here when I typed in roofing contractors near me, the first organic result I get is 232 best roofers near me in Boulder, Colorado from GAF. Right? Then I see the Better Business Bureau, I see Yelp, I see Owens Corning, and I see Angie. I could not find any other roofing manufacturer. I couldn't find Certainty, ICO, Malarkey, any other roofing manufacturer that was a player in this. And another way to look at this is if we just say, okay, the cost to get on that page, right? If you're paying per click, my SEO ad guy tells me that in Boulder, Denver, you will pay from $75 to $150 per click. Okay. That's a lot of money for a manufacturer. It's a lot of money for a contractor, but a contractor can at least control if I pay $150 per click and I close 1 sale out of 5, the average sale is $30,000. This profit, okay, I can do that, right? Manufacturer, that's kind of out of the realm of possibility. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm going, where's the other roofing manufacturers? So the benefit here is how they're gaining this free, very valuable traffic. Joshua, could you explain just a little bit about what's going on here, how this is happening?
Yeah, sure. This, Mark, is an extension of the Locator platform, really, where they're leveraging the local content for the individual contractors to build out a collection of city pages, which is what you're seeing here, as well as the local pages themselves, which are the profile pages that you showed earlier. And what this does is it really taps into the fact that most of the new people that are going to be looking for your products are going to start in a search engine, and they might search for your product or your product category with a localized search term like near me, or it could also be roofing contractors in Boulder, Colorado. But what happens is these city pages and the local pages are all optimized from an SEO perspective, so that Google can actually rank them and put them in the results when people are searching for those localized long-tailed search terms. I know that with GAF, that when they implemented this solution, the combined city pages and local pages, that they actually saw 4 times the volume of traffic that was coming directly to their website that was coming through these optimized local search terms. So it just illustrates how powerful it can be. And I want to talk just briefly about, how to approach this. So you could theoretically build out these pages individually. There would be thousands of pages, and of course that would be a tremendous amount of work, lots of labor. With a platform like Bullseye, a modern locator platform, you can actually build these pages dynamically. So you can go in, you can add content, and then literally press a button and be able to blow out thousands of pages without the effort of customizing and coding them individually.
Yeah, so that's a reason that other manufacturers don't have it. Is it just they could do it, but it would be the sheer amount of work, and that when you're using a locator like Bullseye, it makes it, all the data is there. It makes it much easier to pull it together into this and gain this SEO traffic without having these substantial pay-per-click costs. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Hey, we got also, I found out, don't go to chat, go to the Q&A and type in your questions. And so Alok has a question, and that was, what happens if they click call us? Okay. So Joshua, tell me if I'm wrong here, but if they choose to call, they call directly to the contractor, yes, and GAF in that instance does not know that I contacted that contractor. Okay. Is that correct?
Well, there are 2 things that happen. I think first of all is you show them the phone number, and by hiding it and then showing it, it enables you to track that a user clicked on that particular link, and there's an engagement. There is also, I believe, an integrated calling system that they can launch a phone call right from the website. Or from a mobile device, which is even more relevant, because a lot of times, go ahead.
I just got an answer from someone in the know, just put it that way, from someone in the know about GAF, and it says, he told me GAF does know it's a Google phone proxy. All right. So if I do choose to know, GAF does know that I contacted that particular roofer. So I hope that answers your question, Alok. Steve. Steve had a question. How did GAF know it was Mark Mitchell from Boulder? Clicked call or visit website. You only entered your zip code so far. I don't believe that it knows me until I go a step further, like that I want to schedule an appointment or call a contractor, take that initiative. Would that be your understanding, Joshua? Like it doesn't know that it's Mark Mitchell until I've done something, right?
Yes, and just because that gets in the privacy violation. So, once you take the next step, you fill out a form and submit a request, and that's how they know.
Yes. Okay. Well, good. Hope that answered your questions, and please keep them coming. Now, I've got to move along here because I'm, as typical here, going into too much. Now, here's some other companies you could take a look at that are doing it right. Okay, Fox Blocks, who's an insulated concrete form manufacturer. Technoblock, who's a paver company from Canada. Superform, who is a insulated concrete form company from Canada, and Nicolock, who is I think a stone company. And those are 4 smaller companies than GAF that are also making better use of a locator. So I would encourage you also, if you want to look at some other people doing it right, there's some examples. Now, I want to talk now about, I'm buying into you, Mark. I don't have I'm not going to go all in. What are some simple things I can do? And what you can do is, there's some easy steps you can take yourself to improve the customer experience. Okay. So, but without landing pages, you will, or modern day locator like Bullseye, you're still going to lose sales when customers switch to the competitor, but you can improve the customer experience. Right? So the first thing, take a look at your homepage. Did you make the where to buy button easy to find? Okay. Here's Trex. And so they've got where to buy, find a builder, start your project, shop Trex. Okay. Much like GAF, where we saw that they were giving me a number of options. Okay. So make sure it's easy to find at the top of your homepage. The other thing is to choose your words carefully. It used to be find a dealer. Well, now maybe it's where to buy, because I might be ordering it from Dex Direct or Amazon or Wayfair. I don't know, whoever might be selling Trex online. Or I want to deal. I want to buy it from a lumber dealer, buy it myself, or I want to have a deck builder come out and help me design the deck of my dreams. And so, make it easy to find on the top of your homepage, and step back and say, do we have the right terms here? And maybe you need to have more than one term, like is where to buy and find a builder, find a contractor. It would be an example, right? Now you could also just have, let's say, where to buy. When I get to that page, then gives me the option of I want to find a dealer or I want to find a contractor. And then provide online options. Just more and more, your product, whether you sell it online directly or not, is available online. And so here, at the top of the where to buy locator at Schlage, it's like I can choose between a local dealer or online. Right there's the online people, and so they've made it easy for me. I know which one I want. And here's another example at the top of the page where LK's being helpful, in which they're trying to say, do you want a showroom, a home center, or a distributor? Right. And so I thought that was a step in the right direction. Although I did have a question when I looked under distributors. Ferguson has some of the most beautiful showrooms you've ever seen. And so it's a kind of, should they be listed in two places, or, there's sometimes you run into a conflict like that, but it's a step in the right direction of, once again, making it a better experience for me. And then don't tell them to call. Okay. The customer, doesn't less frequently now wants to get on the phone to talk to anybody. And also stores, are understaffed, and they don't have people sitting around waiting to answer the phone. And even if they do answer the phone, they probably can't answer the question without putting you on hold. So don't tell them to call. What you want to do, you want to send them to the website of the customer, right? But you don't want to send them just to the homepage. So if you send them to, like, say, example, Home Depot's homepage, you make the customer work to find you. Right now, they're going to maybe not type in Schlage door hardware. Maybe they're just going to type door hardware. Now I'm going to see Quickset, Schlage, and everybody else that Home Depot carries. Gee, now I just let the competition in the door when they didn't need to be there. And so what you want to do is to link right to your product page. So I was looking for Schlage deadbolts. And bam, they linked me to that page. And right at the top left, you can see here's the results for the store closest to me. I automatically put that in. And it makes it easy for a customer to, I don't have to work to find you, right? I'm also less likely to look at a competitor. Right away, I can say, I'm interested in this deadbolt. They have it in stock at this store, or they can have it in 2 days. I can pick it up. They can ship it. Here's the price. Wow. Done. I'm done with my shopping, completed my task, right? And thanks to Schlage, or the manufacturer, you helped me to solve this problem, and I'm going to buy your product. And then, if you're still going to use this as much as you can, give me more detail under each of these entries here. Tell me the hours. Provide a website link to ideally your product page. Now, Home Depot, big boxes have amazing websites. Big dealers have amazing websites. Big distributors have amazing websites, in which you can link to your product on their website. Okay, smaller dealers and so forth, don't have that sophisticated website, so you have to kind of send them to the homepage. But take advantage of the money that your dealers and others are investing in their websites. Help them sell more of your products by sending people there. If the dealer has a showroom, if they offer design assistance, delivery, estimating, 24-hour, 7 emergency, whatever it is, but, think about what are the different things I would want to know. And if you're, and then add that to the, this listing here. And then, it's about, so how to improve the customer experience and stop losing sales. Okay. So one, step back, rethink, in your case, the role of your locator. Okay? What is the role of your locator for your business? And think about that. And so what the customers want is to find the best resource for their need, for their particular project. That's what they're looking for. Not the closest, but the best. Okay. And they'd like to do it without leaving your website. Okay. And in today's world, just think about, they're less likely to go to a brick and mortar location. And they don't need a map, even if they are going to go there. So just stepping back from the role of your locator. Think about dealers, contractors, distributors want. They want qualified inquiries from you, right? They're looking for quality over quantity, right? When I've talked to big distributors and they will tell me, like, I do not want a guy showing up who needs 5 sheets of drywall, okay, for a project he's doing. I want that guy to go to Home Depot, okay? That's not a good sale for us. Dealers don't want homeowners who expect a big box experience. Maybe they think they'll get a better price at a dealer. Maybe they think that, a dealer is just a different version of a big box, and they're going to walk in, there's going to be a showroom with inventory and so forth. So dealers don't want homeowners who want a big box experience. Many of them don't. Contractors want leads who understand who they are. So if I only work on $1 million plus homes, I don't want people calling me up who are looking for the lowest price, right? So there's many times we get mixed up with, like, well, I sent them 100 leads or something. Well, maybe only 10 of them were worthwhile, and they don't want to waste their time sorting through that. So sometimes your leads actually become less important or less valuable because of how let's say unqualified they are. It's also another thing is it's not your job, in my opinion, to list every business that might sell your product. I've talked to a number of manufacturers in which they'll say, oh, Mark, it's so hard. We need to have we want to identify every single location where you could possibly buy our product. And because these people buy through distributors, we don't have access to that. But our goal is to have a locator that lists everybody in the world that might, sell our product. When I say might sell us our product, they could be listed as a customer if they placed an order a year ago for, 1 case of product or something. I don't know that I would count that as a good customer. So when you do that, you're wasting your time. You're sending customers to businesses who prefer to sell your competition. So every dealer, distributor, contractor, for example, might sell more than one brand, but they kind of have like, who do we sell the most of, or want to sell the most of? Who's second and who's third? Maybe even they carry 5 different brands of your product, right? And just because they're listed as a customer, you put them on your locator, send customers to them, and they're going to see that, oh, I guess I should buy the competition here, right? That doesn't make sense to me. So we often talk about loyalty. I hear manufacturers all the time and say, where's the loyalty, right? And your customers ask me the same thing. Why aren't manufacturers loyal to me? So loyalty is a two-way street. And so when you try to list every single business in the world that might sell your product, you're not supporting your best and most loyal contractors, dealers, and distributors. So think about that when you think about rethinking the role of your locator. So I view, when you rethink it, it's your job, 1, grow your business by supporting your best contractors, dealers, and distributors. Stay involved until the sale is completed. Don't pass it off to a third party and trust that something good's going to happen. And finally, with all the investment that you've made in Salesforce and things like HubSpot and so forth, by linking your locator results to those programs, you can now better track and measure the performance of your contractors, dealers, and distributors. So you can you can track and say, wow, the contractor who closes the most sales is this guy. What is he doing right that maybe we should find out and teach other? Who is doing the worst job? And is it we need to provide them some sales training, or are they secretly switching the competition? You can track and measure and improve results. So your job is to me, is make your job easier. Stop the impossible task of trying to list every possible reseller and keep it up to date. You should, in my opinion, feature or only list your best and most loyal contractors, dealers, and distributors. Now, this is another thought that I've had. I hear many times people say, we can't keep the data on our locator up to date. We send out an assignment to our sales force to get all this data and we don't get it. We send it to the customer and they don't return it. It's this unbelievable, difficult task. Well, I think you could get your sales team involved by making them the healer with their best customers. So rather than saying, here are all of our customers in Colorado, please update their locator information. Okay. Tell them you're going to send more leads to your best customers. Ask them to identify these customers and to go meet with those customers, explain what you're going to be doing, and have the salespeople and the customer provide the info you need for an effective landing page. When the salesperson sees, oh, we're going to provide more support to our best customers, then I'm all on board with that. Okay. So I think, rethink your locator and just do something, whether it's like some of the simple steps I outlined or more involved. Now, what I would recommend that to get a better understanding and more depth, get a demo from Bullseye to see how easy it is to grow your business with a better locator. Keeps your customer on your site, keeps you informed and involved, rewards your best and most loyal customers, and stop losing sales when customers switches the sale to a competitor. So I would encourage at least, get a demo and see if it's right for you or not, and get more of the in-depth questions under the hood type stuff that I'm able to go into today from Bullseye. So I want to thank you for your time. Just please let me know if there's any questions that you have for either myself or Joshua. And I do have one here. If Alok asks again, if the sale is offline, how do you track if the retailer is loyal to you? Good question. And I don't know the answer to that. Joshua, do you? So in other words, if I, from your website, click on Amazon or Bill Direct or Wayfair or something, what do I know?
In terms of the online sales, it's difficult to get that particular piece of information unless you are able to tap into some kind of warranty registration process. If the sale is offline, then you're looking at ways to get the dealers or contractors to report that information back to you, and that could be done through a CRM system. That can be done through an integration. That can be done through also techniques like using warranty registration and so forth. That particular place is something that we're constantly working on trying to improve, because obviously being able to understand what happens with that final conversion is critical to understanding the ROI. So we've seen customers try to implement a mix of those different things to try to get that information coming back from them.
Yeah, I know, like as an author who sells his books on Amazon, Amazon sells me the sales report, but they don't tell me who. And, so in addition to warranty registration, you may also, have other, I see many companies, when I get something I bought online in the box, there's something encouraging me to do something, right? It might be to leave a review. It might be, if I do this, I'm going to get something, or something is one way to do it. So, Alok, it is a challenge that companies continue to wrestle with, how to do that on the online part. Anybody have any other questions or that Joshua and I can answer for you at this time? I'm not seeing any others. So I will be sending everyone a recording of this if you care to revisit or to share it with other people in your organization as you step back. And I just feel, going back to those couple of graphics I had, whether it's the sales funnel or, marching uphill with this customer and then sending them away to a third party. It just no longer makes sense to me to do that. And it seems like we've done so much to improve the performance of our websites with SEO, with content, with calls to action, all the things we're doing to bring more people to the website, to make them prefer us, to be the most helpful and most knowledgeable supplier. And then when they get to that point where they're, okay, I'm ready to go now. Okay. We walk away with traditional locators. So that just makes no sense to me, as well as the importance. It's no longer, to me, the map should no longer be featured or the number one priority. So those are my thoughts. Any other closing thoughts you have, Joshua?
No, that's great, Mark. Thank you very much.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. And as I said, we'll send out I'll send out a recording of this, as well as Joshua and I's contact information. So if there's any way, please reach out to us, or like to schedule information. I'll just do a demo with Bullseye. So everybody, have a great day, and